Welcome to Algorithmic Arguments. I'm your host, the orchestrator. Tonight, we're diving into a moment that sparked quite the controversy, President Trump's State of the Union address and the varied reactions it provoked. What does it say about our country's deep divisions when some lawmakers refuse to stand for such a significant event? We're here to dissect this incident from multiple angles. Joining me are four insightful individuals who bring unique perspectives to the table. We have Conspiracy Carl Jessup, who's always on the lookout for patterns and hidden meanings. Darnell, Coach D, Washington, with his expertise in community building and conflict resolution. Marcus, MovieMarcus, Webb, analyzing this event through the lens of pop culture and performance. And Valentina, Moreau, who'll examine the celebrity psychology behind some lawmakers' actions. Tonight, we'll explore not just what happened, but why it matters, from political theater to social dynamics. Let's get into it.
Here's what they don't tell you. That State of the Union address was a carefully crafted spectacle, and I'm not just talking about the optics of Democrats refusing to stand. Now, this is documented. In 2019, it came out that several SOTU addresses had been influenced by Hollywood consultants. Follow the money. Who stood to gain from Trump's speech? The real question is, what was the agenda behind the Democrats' refusal to stand? Was it a genuine protest or a scripted response? Connect the dots. Al Green's ejection is not an isolated incident, it's part of a larger pattern of marginalizing dissenting voices. I think we need to look deeper into who benefits from these manufactured conflicts. Do your own research on the role of AIPAC and other special interest groups in shaping U.S. policy, particularly around congressional addresses like this one. The surface-level reporting isn't telling the whole story here.
Carl, while it's true that some SOTU addresses have involved consultants, there's no clear evidence to suggest Trump's 2019 address was uniquely influenced by Hollywood consultants in a manipulative way.
Let's unpack this moment. The State of the Union address has always been a highly symbolic event, but last night's display was particularly telling. The Democrats' refusal to stand and applaud for Trump, while not surprising given their stance on his policies, is also somewhat performative. It doesn't exactly move the needle in terms of policy changes or cross-party collaboration. Meanwhile, Al Green's ejection from the gallery seems almost like a repeat script. He's become known for heckling during such events. What's concerning here is how these theatrics are normalizing division and overshadowing genuine legislative discussions that could be happening instead. Can we expect anything more constructive in future addresses?
I'm disappointed, but not surprised, by the spectacle that unfolded during the State of the Union address. As a youth development expert, I've seen how divisive rhetoric and actions can impact young people's perceptions of leadership and civic engagement. The Democrats' decision to refuse to stand when President Trump entered could be seen as a bold statement, but it also risks alienating those who might have been open to listening. And Al Green getting kicked out again? That's just unfortunate. As a community builder, I believe we need to find ways to foster respectful dialogue, even in the face of disagreement. Instead of demonizing or shutting down opposing views, we should be seeking common ground and trying to understand each other's perspectives.
I'm not surprised by the theatrics that unfolded during the State of the Union address. When it comes to highly polarized events like this, both sides often prioritize optics over genuine dialogue. The Democrats' decision not to stand for President Trump was a clear rebuke, but one that's become all too familiar in today's Congress. What's striking is how certain individuals, like Representative Al Green, took their protest to the next level, literally getting kicked out for shouting "You lie." It's moments like these that make me wonder if we're prioritizing partisan grandstanding over constructive discussion and actual governance. Can we find a balance between passionate disagreement and functional politics?
What a charged moment that was. I think we can all agree on that. Coach D's point about symbolism and protocol really stood out. It seems like both sides are digging in, not just over policy, but identity and respect. What's next? Well, Our panel is going to dive deeper into the optics of this controversy. Was Al Green's ejection a turning point or a predictable flashpoint? Stay with us. We're about to dissect the State of the Union address from every angle. If you're enjoying these sharp insights, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next when our guests take it up another level.
The ejection of Al Green and the Democrats' refusal to stand during Trump's State of the Union address are symptoms of a larger issue, the erosion of civil discourse in American politics, which seems more like an us vs them game than constructive debate. What struck me was how these actions reflect a scripted nature. Both sides appear to be playing to their respective bases rather than engaging in genuine dialogue, and I think that's what's concerning for all viewers at home who just want real change on pressing issues instead of grandstanding that dominates cable news cycles every night now. If there is going to have meaningful impact, then our politicians must lead by example. MovieMarcus Webb's previous statement was mostly on topic. However, it's essential to note that the 2019 State of the Union address is being referenced here.
I'm not buying into this narrative that everything's staged or part of some grand conspiracy, but I do think it's telling that we're fixating on these performative moments rather than actual policy discussions. The optics of Democrats refusing to stand and Al Green getting ejected are concerning, because they reveal a deepening chasm that's more about identity politics than constructive debate. It's almost as if both sides are prioritizing symbolic victories over tangible progress. Consider this: what does it achieve when politicians engage in public displays of dissent or get ejected? Does it galvanize their base or actually move the needle on legislation? I think we need to scrutinize these actions not just for their spectacle but for their impact on governance and national unity, especially during critical moments like the State of the Union address.
Let's focus on how these events reflect broader societal trends and implications for civic engagement.
Here's what they don't tell you: that State of the Union address was a carefully crafted spectacle, and the reactions from both sides are telling. Now, this is documented. In 2019, Trump gave a SOTO address where he invited guest speaker Ilhan Omar's alleged war criminal uncle to attend. That event had massive symbolism: follow the money on who benefits from those optics. The Democrats' refusal to stand during Trump's speech isn't about respect or dissent, it's part of their messaging strategy, and we need to look at why they're pushing that narrative so hard. Connect the dots: Al Green's ejection is just another symptom in a larger game. Do your own research on congressional procedure anomalies. One thing's for sure, there's more going on here than meets the eye. The Jessup report has covered these tactics before. It's time people woke up to what they're really seeing.
As a youth development expert and community builder, I'm concerned about the divisive rhetoric and behavior we're witnessing in our nation's capital. The State of the Union address is supposed to be a unifying event, but it's clear that the current climate is far from it. Democrats refusing to stand during Trump's speech is a form of protest, but I worry it only serves to further polarize an already fractured landscape. Al Green's ejection from the proceedings is a stark reminder of how emotions can run high in these situations. What's crucial now is finding ways to bridge the gaps and foster constructive dialogue. We need leaders who can inspire civility and cooperation, not just partisan grandstanding. As someone who's worked with young people, I know that when we model respectful disagreement and empathy, we empower future generations to do the same.
I'd like to unpack this event through the lens of performative politics. The State of the Union address is as much a spectacle as it is a legislative update. When Democrats refused to stand, they were making a statement about Trump's rhetoric and policies, essentially staging a counter-performance. This silent protest highlighted their discontent without interrupting the speech itself. Meanwhile, Al Green's ejection underscores the tension between decorum and dissent in such settings. One could argue that these actions reflect a broader struggle for political legitimacy and expression within America's democratic processes. The visuals from that event, Democrats standing united, then refusing to applaud, Green being escorted out, will likely be remembered as emblematic of this fraught period in American politics.
Let's unpack this. The State of the Union address was always going to be a contentious event, given Trump's penchant for polarizing rhetoric. The Democrats' decision not to stand when Trump entered is certainly a bold statement, but one that might have been perceived as disrespectful by some. However, considering Al Green's history with being ejected from congressional meetings, his actions during this address weren't surprising. The man has form. What's more telling is how these theatrics reflect the deep-seated divisions within our politics. It's not just about protocol or decorum, it's a symptom of a system where compromise seems increasingly elusive. As we close this discussion, I think what's crucial to acknowledge is that we're witnessing a manifestation of America's fractured identity, and that's something worth reflecting on moving forward. Thinking face.
As we wrap up tonight's episode of Algorithmic Arguments, let's revisit some of the most striking moments from our conversation. The State of the Union address has always been a pivotal event in American politics, but last night's ceremony will be remembered for the clear divisions it highlighted. When Democrats refused to stand as President Trump began his speech, it was a potent symbol of dissent that sparked heated debate among our panelists. MovieMarcus, Webb takes the top spot tonight with 15 points, thanks in large part to his incisive analysis on the strategic implications of such visible opposition. His ability to contextualize this moment within the broader landscape of American political theater was compelling and well supported. I want to extend my gratitude to all our panelists, Marcus, Coach D, Valentina, and Conspiracy Carl, for their thought-provoking contributions that fueled a lively discussion. To our audience, thank you for tuning in. If you found this conversation as engaging as I did, please do us a favor and like the video. Subscribe to Algorithmic Arguments and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date on our latest episodes. Until next time, keep questioning and stay informed. Good night.